Hi guys, Lisa's Movie Reviews. Sorry it's taken a long time to get a new video up. I've been trying to make this video several times and every time something goes wrong. So hopefully I get it put on YouTube tonight. One thing after another, I forgot my battery. Okay, I got my battery. I didn't get my notes. I forgot my notes, and right before I said, I'm going to cut up some watermelon to eat later, I slice open my finger. I'm telling you, I'm getting this video done tonight. Now, let me put everything in the correct order that I'm doing this. Let's see if I got my notes. Okay, I got my notes. Good. Now, I'm going to do a small review on The Shining for 1980. It's directed by It was written by Stephen King, based on his book from 1977. It was directed by Stanley Kubrick. And you know him from 2001, Space Odyssey, A Clockwork Orange, Barry Lyndon, Eyes Wide Shut, those other movies. Jack Nicholson plays Jack Torrance, Shelley Duvall plays Wendy Torrance, and Scatman Crothers plays Dick Hallorann. Now, I've been thinking about doing a review of this movie for quite some time, but I wanted to reread the book. I read the book when I was probably 12, and then I didn't have any memory of the book. Until recently, I just reread the book, and I used to always think, even before I didn't remember reading the book and watched the movie, I never really thought it was that good. I didn't think it was that big a deal. I mean, it's not bad. It's not awful to me, but to me, I didn't see why it was such a legendary film. I think a lot of people who have read the book, that's why they really don't like it. Even Stephen King said he didn't like it. But not every book that they make into a movie of his, well, a book of his to a movie, it's never going to be the same, because people say stuff like, well, then you know what to expect. I understand that. I think you gotta surprise people and up the game. But by itself, as a Stanley Kubrick film, by itself, standalone, it's a pretty good movie. I mean, but to me, I didn't think it lived up to the hype of being this great, legendary horror film. If anything, I didn't see it as a horror film. I saw it just as a thriller. But it has horror aspects to it, horror movie aspects, like, you know, hauntings and ghosts and people walking around with a killer with an axe, and then I could see why. But to me, it never scared me, even when I was a kid. I just thought it was bizarre as hell why this guy was all pissed off, breaking open a door with an axe. Like, what's his deal? But now, even when you get older and you watch it, okay, he's losing his mind, or he's possessed, or stuff like that. Yeah, just I went with the flow of that. But when I reread the book, okay, I can see why Stephen King did not like this. But as I said before, if you don't think of it as a Stephen King, based on a Stephen King book, it's good by itself, the movie. So what it is, if you actually don't know what The Shining is about, it's about a man named Jack Torrance with his wife and son. This is my note, so I don't want to forget anything. Becomes the caretaker, the hotel Overlook is what it's called, right? I want to be absolutely sure if I can remember. I read this maybe a month ago. You'd be surprised how I forget things. Overlook Hotel. He becomes the winter caretaker of the Overlook Hotel with his wife and his son, Wendy, and his son, Danny. Danny, his son, has telepathic abilities called The Shining, or The Shining. An imaginary friend, Tony, warns him about the hotel, that it's evil. This is just a little small synopsis about the film. I'm not going to say the whole thing. Jack starts behaving strangely and has a violent outburst. He's working on his novel. Jack becomes deranged after talking to some ghost in the hotel and attempts to kill Wendy and Danny. Now, since this is a review, I'll just give my little notes about it. And I wrote a little bit about the difference between the book and the movie. I'm not doing a review of the book. You know, maybe I would give a book a higher rating than the movie. But let's just stick to my little review of what I like about the movie and what I didn't like about the movie by itself right now. And these are little these are like little, what do they call them, little trivia things, that Shelley Duvall did not get along, famously, did not get along with Stanley Kubrick. They had frequent arguments about the script, her acting techniques. She became so overwhelmed by the stress of the role that she became ill. For months, even her hair started falling out. As I said before, Stephen King was very outspoken about this movie. And he was the one, he said that this was one of the movies he most hated of adaptations of this book to a movie. This is the one he hated the most. He disliked that the disintegration of the family was less prevalent in the film. I agree with that. It's more prevalent it's more in the book. I agree with that. Everyone is left, I think everybody, the family members separated though. Jack and his wife Wendy and his son Danny. In the movie, they're separated quite a bit. In the book, they're really glued, most likely glued together a lot, especially Danny and Wendy. Now, the difference between the book and the movie, I found, the nature of the haunted hotel is different. The book, it's very clear that the hotel is haunted. It's clear in the movie too, but more in the book. You know, there's ghosts, there's noises during the night. Wendy and Danny can hear people having parties, parties going on, and they're like, I'm hearing music, I'm hearing parties, I'm hearing people talking and laughing, and where's this coming from? You know, in the movie, it seems like his madness is very ambiguous and seems to take place all in his mind. In the book, it kind of starts that way, but it's more outward, that it's definitely the hotel that's controlling Jack Torrance. Jack's writing project is totally different in the book, in the movie. In the movie, he wants to write a novel. In the book, he's a playwright. He's thinking about writing another play, but then he gets interested in the history that he finds about the hotel. He wants to write a book about the hotel. Let me see. Well, obviously, the things that are in the movie that are not in the book. But in the movie, it's legendary. The famous twins that you see in the movie, that's not in the book. The bleeding elevator, that's not in the book. All work and no play make Jack a dull boy, that's not in the book. There's, let me see. Here's Johnny, a very famous moment when he busts open that bathroom door, sorry. That's not in the book. One of my favorite things in the book that was not in the movie was the hedge animals. There's these topiary animals, but it's topiary, and they are they're detailed to look like animals. I don't know the exact word, how to use it, but they actually come alive in the book. And several times you see, like, you know, he's out by the playground. There's no mention of a playground in the movie, but he's out by the playground, and he kind of sees them. Are they moving closer to him, or are they not? Am I losing my mind? He's thinking. But towards the end of the book, they are alive, and they're trying to stop Dick Halloran from going to the Overlook Hotel to save Wendy and Danny. And I thought that was really neat. I thought that would have been really cool in the movie, but that's not in the movie. I don't think there's even hedge animals at all in the movie. That big maze, that's not in the book. Obviously Jack's death is completely different in the book. I prefer it so much more in the book. It's one of the main talking points about when people bring up the movie Shining, about I did not understand the ending of that movie whatsoever. I mean, part of people are like, what do you mean, what did you not understand? Well, in the movie, he runs after Danny outside in the maze, he gets lost, and he freezes to death. But the hotel is still there. And people talk about, well, what's up with that picture? Because you see him in the movie, in this picture, this really old picture. I can't remember the year. Was it 1920s or something? I don't know. And I think somebody said that all the people in that picture, because Jack's in that picture, that's all the people that died in the hotel. But then I said, but he didn't die in the hotel. He died outside of the hotel in the maze. So, I don't know. But in the book, and I'm going to put spoilers on this, by the way, if no one's read the book. I don't want to spoil it for you, but there's going to be spoilers here. In the book, it's totally different. There's something about the boiler room. He's got to keep it at a certain level, or it could blow, and it blows. Let me see if I wrote it down. Jack freezes to death in the movie, and in the book, he is lured down to the boiler room. He remembers, I gotta go to the boiler room, I gotta make sure it's not gonna get too overheated and blow. Well, it does. And he blows up with the entire hotel. And that's in the book. And I actually like that so much better, because it destroys the hotel, but in the movie, it's not. It's still going, which means it could keep happening to other winter caretakers, which is kind of a cool idea. But I prefer it so much more in the book. Other differences. Wendy. This is a big one for me. And I don't mean to be rude towards Shelley Duvall. I actually like her a lot. I mean, growing up as a kid, I loved her fairy tale theater. I loved her in Time Bandits. It was brief, but I got a kick out of it. In this movie, a lot of people, including me, think she was very miscasted to play this part, but also it's like, at the time, who could have played Wendy? 1980, right? I don't know. But in the book, she's completely different. She's blonde. She's supposed to be saying, it's supposed to say that she has, like, movie star looks. But she's also much stronger and independent, has a stronger independent personality, and she stands up to Jack more firmly and in stronger ways. In the movie, she's just kind of like a little pushover. You know, that scene when he's yelling at her, interrupting, oh, okay, fine. You know, and then she's always crumbling and crying and all that stuff. But then again, you think, wouldn't you be doing the same thing if you're in that situation? I'm just saying. But in the book, she gets hurt really bad. He beats the shit out of her in the book. And he doesn't use an axe. It's a roke, a mallet. I don't necessarily, I'm trying to remember that game, but it's a roke, as it says, a roke mallet is what he's attacking her with and trying to kill Danny with. It's not an axe. So that was different. She gets hurt a lot, but she still manages to try to get out of the hotel. And something that always bugged me, even before reading the book and the movie, that she was always running around like with this big knife in her hand, looking around. I was like, "What, lady?" I know she's trying to find Danny. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? But I mean, I don't know. But then again, it always comes down to the same thing. Everybody handles situations differently. Some people a little bit more calm under pressure. Some people lose their minds under pressure. I don't know. It's the part of it, I look at her performance like, oh my god, this is really sad. Another part of it is like, well, I don't know. I probably would have freaked out the same way. I don't know. And another thing, the last thing that's different, and there's lots of different things, but what I'm just going to tell you is Danny's interaction with Tony is completely different in the book and the movie. You know, in the movie he talks to him like this with his finger. You know, in the book he gets into this trance, and he can see Tony, but he's a shadow. He doesn't see him. He finally sees him, who he is. But I'm not going to tell you who that is. You have to read the book. But it's totally different. You know, he goes into like a trance and passes out. Like in the movies, in the book, he does kind of the same thing. He doesn't really remember it, but he keeps seeing and hearing the same thing about, you gotta take your medicine. Come here and take your medicine. And something smacking against the wall. What it comes down to is his dad's chasing after him. Come take your medicine and stuff like that. So, but with the movie, Jack Torrance just runs with his rage and his derangement. You know, it just goes with the flow. It's easy. It just takes over him. He's down with it, you know. In the book, it's different. He's not really that interested in hurting his son. He gets a lot of thoughts about hurting his wife because she holds against him. He broke his arm. But he don't want to hurt his son. He loves his son more than his wife. And even it comes to a part where he was going to really kill Danny, and Danny says something like, "It's not you, this is the hotel." And he kind of snaps out of it and tells his son, "Please, run, remember I love you." It was, in the movie, he didn't get nothing of that. And I really wish they did that. It would have been really great if they did that. That Jack was still fighting that influence the hotel had over him. But in the movie, he just ran with it. But as I said, you know, if it's a standalone movie, it's not bad, but it's never been one of my favorites. But I just recently read this, so I thought maybe I should do a review of the movie. And because this is a classic, and I do, you know, I do enjoy watching it once in a while. I don't think is as good as a lot of people say it is. The acting is good. I think, well, Jack Nicholson was great. Even though he had to do what he had to do. Even, they said even Jack Nicholson didn't like the script changes that Stanley Kubrick did. Like I said, I'm not a real fan of Shelley Duvall's acting in it. I wanted so much more with Dick Hallorann and Danny. That more of a bonding connection they have like in the book. Dick Hallorann, spoilers, does not die in the book like he does in the movie. And that's something I was like, darn, I wish they didn't do that. But I'm going between... Oh, I didn't show you the DVD, did I? I'm sorry. This is the DVD. Just a little normal DVD of a Stanley Kubrick collection. I'm between a C+ and a B- on this. Well, I'm gonna give this movie, The Shining, Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, a B-. Just to be nice about it. Because, you know, it's by itself. If it had nothing to do with a Stephen King novel, it'd be a good film. But if you read the Stephen King novel, you can see why he did not like this movie, why he was angry about it. And why a lot of fans who are the book fans did not like it. And then there's ones who like both, like me. So I know a lot of you guys are saying, well, you just say you don't like it, but then you say you like it. You say you don't like it, but you like, see, there's things I like about it, the things I don't like about it. That's why I'm just going to give it a B-. The Shining. If you guys haven't read the book, you should read the book. It's great. There are some parts in it, it starts to really slow down, and you're like, okay, come on. And then it picks it right back up. So it's good. The book I would give an A. Just an A. It's not my favorite of his. It's not the one I don't like the most. I think my most favorite Stephen King book is Salem's Lot. So far. I'm rereading all the books again. But even as a kid when I read Salem's Lot, I loved it. So I give this an A. I'd give the movie B-. So if you guys like it, did I miss something? Is there something that you liked? Is there something you disagree about? Did you really like Shelley Duvall's performance? Would you prefer to see things much more from the book into the movie? If you read the book, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.